Hey everyone, my name is Kate Green. I am a producer and director in Vancouver, BC, and I'm here to answer 10 questions.
I told you that I had hair loss, I had hot flashes, joint pain, depression, brain fog, insomnia, and I would sometimes pee myself. Would you think I was dying?
I would be a little concerned.
Yeah. My name is Kate Green. I'm a producer and director.
Cut!
I have a great life. At least that's what it looks like from the outside. I don't feel like myself anymore. I'm a little messy and upended. Is this perimenopause?
In North America, the average age of menopause is 51, but we know that the perimenopause is usually when women start to experience symptoms.
Nobody ever said menopause, so they called it the change.
The change? What the hell is the change? I'm going to do what I do best. Get curious. Talk to as many people as I can.
The main hormones that we are considering when we talk about menopause are estrogen and progesterone. An erratic roller coaster ride of up and down.
Hot flashes, losing my mind. I was depressed.
The loss of memory, panic, rage. Oh my God, there's more. I need more wine.
For ages, women have been getting the shaft when it comes to female medicine.
Lots to look forward to.
Sounds so great, right?
Well, that's the thing with menopause is we can train and prepare for menopause.
These were invented by a sadomasochist.
This is my vulva puppet.
Huh, what am I doing here?
Pick up a blueberry with your vagina and your anus.
Says we want to lose about 12 pounds of body fat. Woo, so you're just a tad on the higher side.
I am so stupidly emotional right now. I've been laying here for the last hour or so. Woke up 3 o'clock.
I am just like so done. Isn't it so great to be a woman?
Or maybe it's my hormones. I don't know.
And underpinning all of that is the desire to change the conversation around menopause, to break the stigma. Once you get those symptoms under control and you start to feel like yourself again, you can take on the world.
Hog for menopause! My journey to becoming a producer and eventually a director started out as an actor and realized that I would be a very full-time waitress and a very part-time actor. So I answered an ad in the Women in Film newsletter that used to be sent out, and it was for a first AD job on a new show called Crash Test Mommy. And it was right when reality TV was starting. And so that's how I started out. I started out in reality TV, and I moved into documentary and factual TV. And eventually I knew that I wanted to tell stories in a different way. And I had a lot of things to say, and I wanted to say them as a director. And so I created a sci-fi series called Narcoleap and went to the Women in Directors Chair program and developed it and created it in there. And the rest is history. I now direct scripted as well as non-scripted. I think, I've always been curious about the world around me. And that's always started with my immediate neighborhood and my immediate surroundings. And, evidence of that was, the two of the short films, documentaries that I did. Melting Stars was about the starfish, on the West Coast that were melting and turning into goo. And I was a kid that grew up on Vancouver Island, flipping rocks on the beaches. And that was something that I really cared about. And so I did a little investigation about it. And Not a Stranger was a story about a gentleman who was living with depression and wanted to find connection within his own community. And that was something that really sparked something in me as well. And so I think just staying curious has always been something that's helped me come up with some good ideas. What inspired me to create Menopause coming in hot? Well, it was probably the night sweats and hot flashes that really started the journey. Yeah, I really wanted to tell an authentic story, and we had some incredible partners with TELUS Originals and Christina Willings over there. And so, we talked a lot about making it a personal journey, and that's terrifying because I've always been behind the camera for most of my professional career, and so this is a real step in being vulnerable and just showing people like, okay, this is my journey and this is what happened and how I figured it out. And, we had a few laughs along the way. I mean, if you know me personally, you know that I like to have a good laugh and I like to have a good joke about things. So I think that's authentic to who I am, but I think being a woman is absolutely absurd, and, like, the things that we have to go through and deal with our bodies is just like, you've gotta laugh. You've got to laugh at this because it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And so, yeah, there was a balance that we had to find because the journey is different and sometimes a lot more difficult for other women than it was, for myself. So there are sensitivities around that, but I think at the end of the day, information when you're trying to give information or make an impact, if you can do it in a joyful way, sometimes it's a bit stronger and it's heard a little bit better. The biggest creative challenge, I have to say, like this making this movie was an absolute dream, and the crew in production and post-production, everybody really just was so invested, and it was such a lovely experience that there really wasn't a lot of creative challenges. I think maybe the main thing is that, I'm on camera, and as a director, you're always trying to have that a bit of perspective on, are you getting your coverage? Are you getting your story beats? Are you getting, kind of the tone and the style and all of that while you're actually still on camera? So I mean, that is a challenge creatively. But I think we did okay. And like I said, I was supported by such incredible women. Our crew was 90% female. And so it really lent to the subject matter and to the content. And I felt really supported and secure and safe on set. I think this was the fastest feature film ever made, documentary ever made. We got the green light from TELUS Originals in November or December of last year, and then finished contracting and closing financing and all that by January. We were in production by February and March and had a couple pickup days, and then we were right into post. And so April until just before August, and I think we had completed the film. So it was fast. It was coming in hot. That's for sure. Large, like Whistler Film Festival is our world premiere. So that will be the first big audience to see it. We've had a few, smaller people, like smaller audience or groups watch the film. And the feedback so far is that they really enjoy having a laugh along with me, and not at me, along with me. And they are learning a few things too. And I think one of the biggest impact was, somebody on our crew, which I won't mention, but they said to my producing partner, Amber Orchard, that working on this film actually changed their life. Like they went to their doctor and they went and had these conversations that we're wanting women to have. And they changed her life. She's sleeping through the night. She's not having the hot flashes. So that's kind of the impact, the immediate impact that we're seeing right now. Yeah. I think my biggest hope with this film is that we start to realize that there isn't a lot of research being done in this area, in the medical field. And our doctors aren't being trained in menopause training, so in the curriculum of their schools. And that's something that really does need to change. Menopause affects, your brain health, your heart health, your kidneys, your joints, your muscles. Like it affects all the different systems that you have as a woman. And so, GPs really do need to have this information. So I think that's something I hope will contribute to the health conversation. I think the Canadian entertainment industry has changed quite a lot, and especially in the last 5 years. And for me personally, I got into directing right around the Me Too movement, and there was a lot of opportunities for myself to start my career in directing. And it was because of that social change that took place. And I think that there are social change that is taking place. That's not to say there's not room for improvement. Of course, there is. But there are still some sectors of the industry that I would like to see more women still in those positions. But it is changing. And I think if we do keep on this path and just don't give up and just keep kind of fighting the good fight, I think we'll be in good shape. I've had many mentors over the years in various capacities. Um, James Genn was a fantastic directing mentor of mine. Karen Lamb as well. John Cooksey as well, writing mentor. I'm trying to, oh my God, there's been a lot. I've been very fortunate. And of course, now I'm being put on the spot to like name people's names and I'm like forgetting. But I think it's important to mentor people. And I think it's a really valuable tool that you can have in your toolbox. Thank you. Hope you guys see the film. Bye.